Hey everyone, I recently did a review of the Seymour Hi-Tech engine enamel in Chevy orange on a big block Chevy that I just painted. And so I thought I'd go ahead and do another review of their dull aluminum engine paint. The part number on that is EN-71. And I have an intake here that's going to go on that same big block that I just painted. And I thought it might be a good opportunity here just to go ahead and get this sprayed. I've had this to the machine shop. They did a little bit of milling work on it because I had the deck blocked. And so while they had it, they went ahead and bead blasted it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this with the dull aluminum engine paint. See how that turns out. I like the way that it looks on a lot of other intakes that I've seen in the past. So anyway, we're going to get this all sprayed up. I've got it all masked up. The one thing that I wanted to point out, if you're familiar with Seymour products, they have a few other paints as well. This is called Aluma Blast, and they say that it's for engine blocks, water pumps, and more. I know some people will use it on an intake, but what's important to note here, in talking with the Seymour technical folks, this particular product, the Aluma Blast, which is part number CA16-55, it is not gas resistant. And so obviously with an intake here, I thought it probably would be best to have something that is gas resistant. So I do like the look of the Aluma Blast, and a lot of times that can be used like on, like I said, water pumps or even transmission cases. And it works really, really well. It's got a nice look to it. But because it's not gas proof or gas resistant, I don't want to use it on the intake. One thing I could have done is I could have just had this powder coated, but I'm just kind of doing this on a budget here. And again, just going to try the spray bomb here. So this dull aluminum engine enamel, part number EN-71, is chemical and gas resistant. So that's what we're going to use here. If you saw my other video on the Chevy orange paint when I painted that block, I did use a primer on some of the bare areas, some of the bare metal areas. That was a previously painted block. So if you're interested in that video, just check it out. I'll leave a link in the description here for that video, as well as the spray bomb that I'm using for this intake. I'm not going to primer this, primarily because I'm just going to try to keep the mill thickness as minimal as possible. And so I'm just going to come in with a couple of real light coats. Hopefully I can get it done in 2 coats, just basically a dusting, and we'll see how it looks. It's been 4 or 5 days now since I spray painted this big block Chevy aluminum intake with the Seymour Hi-Tech Dull Aluminum engine enamel. And so I typically wait, 4 or 5 days, like I said, and come back and take a look at it just to see how I like it. And that's primarily because for the first few days, especially if you're using a dull sheen, it will have a little bit of sheen to it right after you spray it. And so, like I said, I just wait a few days, come back and look at it. And as it dries, it will flatten out or get, dull. and it'll actually probably change just a little bit more once I put it on the engine and get the break-in done and actually get some high temperatures to it. But for the most part, I'm happy with it. The one thing that I would say about the Seymour Dull Aluminum is that it's just a little bit more silver than I was hoping it would be. I was really looking for something that was a little bit darker than this, and maybe more of a mix between dull aluminum and cast iron, maybe. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It's going to look good once I get the engine all put back together and detailed. You can see here just where I masked off where the carburetor sits. There's just a little bit of a difference in the color between the virgin aluminum and the spray painted area. Again, it's very subtle, but I was really hoping more for the color, a little bit closer match to the aluminum. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Would love to hear what you guys are using and what you like. Definitely drop a comment. Let me know. I'm extremely interested in what you're using and how you like the color compared to the original aluminum look. I know some of you probably are powder coating, and you may recommend that to me, and that's actually a great idea. I thought about powder coating this, but it was going to be just a little bit cost prohibitive because of some of the setup fees that my local powder coater has, especially just for this one piece. You know, if I would have had multiple pieces to take in, I think it would have been more cost effective. But powder coating is definitely a route to go. I maybe could have tried, as I'd said earlier in the video, the Alumablast, but it was not gas resistant, so I was a little bit leery of using that on an intake. So anyway, like I said, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys have been using. If you haven't seen the video on the Seymour Hi-Tech Chevy Orange job that I did on the big block, on the heads and the block itself, definitely check that out.